Hello, and welcome to Advent of Code Day number 7. I'm Liz Fong-Jones at Liz Leroy, and I'm really excited to be doing this again. I may seem a little bit off my game today. That is because I am disabled, and unfortunately I lose 1 day per week to my disability. It is some really awful side effects of my medications, so yeah. We'll see how it impacts me or not. Hopefully this puzzle is not too terribly difficult, such that I'm able to get this done. I just may close my eyes and have a little think, and sit and think for a little while on some of this. We'll get through it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Aw, thank you for the head pets, Ariel. I appreciate it. But yeah, this is what my screen looks like today. The artwork is starting to fill in quite nicely. We can kind of now see that we are actually taking a bunch of airplanes. So it turns out I'm a little bit of an AV geek, so this theme is especially makes me happy this year. So the little details about boarding passes and stuff have been especially fun. Let me go ahead and template this as usual. And definitely making a lot more typos than I normally do, that's for sure. Yeah, so today we're just gonna chill, try to get through this puzzle, and have a little bit of fun doing it. And, not really setting any speed records this year, I would say. They seem to be, it's either that or the competition has gotten a lot stiffer, which I think it really has. The first year there were, something like, 2015, if you look at the stats for 2015, right, you can see, maybe 20,000, 10,000, 20,000 people were working on it, and now it's a lot more. That's fine. I'm here to educate. Yay, thank you for feeding the hamsters, A9. I'm glad that you worked out with your cloud hosting provider and with Eric and so forth, all of the issues that were going on. So we'll see. It's always exciting to have question from Fragile Fern. What language am I writing in? I'm writing in Golang, which is golang.org. So it is a fairly popular systems programming language originally written at Google, fairly well adopted by the site reliability engineering and cloud native community. So since I am a DevOps/SRE engineer, in my professional life, it's kind of Golang is my most fluent and comfortable language. It's actually the language that Honeycomb.io's product is written in. So if you look at all of our various open source repos, right, you can see, we've got a lot of code that is written in that's written in Golang that our customers use, that we use every day. So therefore, it's the most comfortable thing for me to be working in. Thanks, Jill Jones. Good luck to you as well. All right. We've got about a minute until the puzzle drops, so time for the ad break, and then I'll catch you right as the puzzle unlocks. I slept a lot last night. I slept from about midnight until about 4 p.m., so I woke up about 5 hours ago. I'm going to go to sleep right after Advent of Code. I also have some exciting accessibility-related news. The captions for day 1 are finally up, and I also have hired someone to do the captions for the remaining videos as they get uploaded. So hopefully that means that there will be captions on videos much quicker than kind of the 5-day lag time that it was to get day 1 uploaded. Because 5 days afterwards is kind of a little bit of a long time. All right, so we have a puzzle unlocking, and it looks like our airplane is about to land in this lovely, lovely airport. Cool. Let's see what happens and how well the server hamsters go when I click this button right here. Oh, that's nice and snappy. Luggage processing. Oh no. Must contain specific quantities of other color-coded bags. Okay. Got it. Make sure you get all of the input. So let's actually scroll all the way down to the bottom. Okay. All right. This is clearly going to be a puzzle that involves parsing things into maps, and we may need bi-directional maps. So let me start on doing this. Okay, did I get the entire input? Dark brown bags contain one dim line bag. Right. All right. Not going to make the same mistake I did last time. So, let us start here by taking each line, and we're going to define two data structures. So map from string to map of string to int, and make map of string to string. Okay, so one of these contains going upwards, the other one contains going downwards, because I suspect it's going to be relevant down the road. All right, so so we need to, the string here is bags contain space. And don't need to know which line number I'm on. Right. Okay, so subject is going to be parts of 0. And then contents is going to contain some number of things that are split by a comma space. And also, there's the potential for it to end in bag or bags, which is really annoying. So we'll have to deal with that. And we'll also have to deal with the fact that every sentence ends in a dot, but I'm just going to trim that off really quick. So let's trim that off. Okay. So, I believe Golang has some string functionality to deal with this situation. Specifically, trim suffix. So we'll do that. That should do that. Okay. So now we have some number of digits, and then we have a description. So I need to split by the first instance of space here. Okay. Strings split n of v space, and I just need to split into at most one substring. Let's just make sure that I understand how this works. So if I split with a maximum of 2, then I'll get 2 parts like that. Okay, so I think that's right. Okay, so num air okay, so that seems fine. And then that should do it. So if this is the case, then I should be able to now define this. So contains subject So now I know for each content, so contained by content equals subject, and contains subject content equals num. Okay, let's assume that I got this right, so let's just make sure that this does what I expect. That seems to do what we expect. Let's just scroll up to the top really quick. I'm honestly surprised that that worked on the first try, but you know, it is what it is. So, oh wait, that doesn't work. That doesn't work because something can be contained by more than one thing. That needs to go like that. Okay. So I think I need this. Okay, that's my first error. Okay. All right, so now let's look for one of the examples. So wavy orange here. So wavy orange bags contain indeed 2 crimson, 2 drab crimson, 3 dull cyan, and 1 mirrored coral. Yep, that looks like I have my parsing correct. And then let's check the inverse direction. So I should be able to see that a dull cyan bag can be contained in a wavy orange. So a dull cyan bag. These are not going to be alphabetized, are they? Well, maybe they are. This is weird. I would not expect this to print in alphabetized order, and yet it is. So a dull cyan should be contained in a wavy orange. Yep, that seems to work. Great. Okay. So now I can actually go and solve the problem. So how many bag colors can contain at least 1 shiny gold? So So we're going to iterate until we have until we are done. How do I do this? All right. So let's see. What we need to do is we need to initially add our self, and then we'll remove our self later. Actually, we don't have to do it this way. Okay. Okay. I think this should work. Oh, but I do need to avoid double finding things as well. Okay, so we can avoid doubly finding things. If not found, so valid parents is going to be contained by B. Okay, for the in range if not found P, then found P is true, and newly found okay. All right, and oh, now I don't need a changed because that's just literally if next cycle length of next cycle is 0, then we break because we're done. Okay. So newly found equals next cycle. That'll do it. Okay. I think that should do it. Oh, and I forgot to add to shiny gold parents. Syntax errors as normal. That needs a comma, and line 68. Ah! Oops. Oops. Oh, there's the phrase contains no other bags. I missed that somehow. Okay. So if it says contain no other bags, then that's just going to be empty. if parts 1 is contain no other bags, then we're done, I think. Okay. Did I strip off the period on the end? Yeah, we did. Great. All right. So I think that should do it. Hey, Viwu, thanks for rating. Appreciate it. That is correct. Rank 698, not bad. Okay. How many bags are required inside of my single shiny gold bag? So now this is asking me to traverse in the opposite direction. All right. So I think we can more or less just take the same code here and do children instead. So we'll do this, and we'll also need to memoize, I think, along the way. So let's do it this way again. And that's going to be constrained to int. So how do I do this? Well, let's see how computationally complex it is. It might not actually be that bad. So let's not actually memoize this. So I need to know which bags are not yet expanded. Okay. So I start off with 1 shiny gold bag, and I need to expand that out to find out how many bags are in its descendants. All bags found is going to be a all right. So that starts off with just the same deal. Okay. So we'll compute this at the end. All right, so for all bags found, children plus equals b, and children. Okay. So same deal here. So for each bag in newly found, we need to iterate over each children is everything that is in contains of subject okay. So now if I have a bunch of children, for each child and children, because that's going to be a map from string to int. Yep. Then I need to set all bags found index and next cycle Okay, that should do it. Newly found, all bags found. Yep, that looks fine. So I have some bugs. Line 75. So let's change the variable slightly. Grumble, grumble. Yeah. Okay. That returned a result. I'm not very confident in it, but we'll roll with it. How many individual bags are required inside? So I actually don't count myself. So that's the first error. Okay, so I think that should do it. And that's correct, rank 447, very nice. Okay, cool. I was expecting that to be a little bit more tricky, but I think that was, perfectly reasonably hard. Yay, let's see what the admin calendar looks like now. Oh, yay, I'm in flight to my next place, having gotten my bag to transfer. Woohoo! Okay, so let's format it, and have a look at the code that I wrote. So I did some string parsing. I'm pretty happy with my string parsing. I indeed needed going up the chain and down the chain, so that worked well. So basically, this pattern that I used here, basically involved creating children, and basically saying, you know what, I'm going to remember what I found in this current cycle, and add it to my list of things that I've already found before. And then once there is nothing to do in the next cycle because I've recursed all the way to the top or bottom, then I print out the result. That same thing was true down here. The only tricky thing that I had to do here was it's possible for me to already have remembered that I have, 5 or 10 or however many in newly found from the previous cycle. So instead of computing each of these individually, I just do the computation once and multiply it out. And then over here, I also, so I multiply the number of times I found the bag here by the number of children that it's expected to have to get this. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and commit this. A07AB solution. And then we'll go find someone else to raid who is still working, and it should be really exciting. Awesome. Well, thanks for tuning in, folks. I managed to keep my head clear enough to get through this in 20 minutes, which I'm pretty happy with. I was expecting this to be a slog because my brain is not 100% there yet today. Awesome. Let's go ahead and kick off the raid. Let's go ahead and raid Anthony. He's a good one to raid always. Awesome. See you folks tomorrow night.